I thought that was you. Yeah, this is by the way, Mike, by the way, last time he was here, I caught you cold. The last time he was here, I caught you cold.
Yeah, yeah. You better scoot over here.
Well, yeah.
Hi, Nando.
Name and email.
Okay.
You got a card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, this is the guy, and if you have trouble with that email, I don't have a computer at home.
Okay.
Just call me, and I'll figure out what.
Okay.
Which character is
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Millis Board. Carol, would you lead us in the pledge? Good evening. It's nice to see all of you here tonight. I think we've got a really interesting meeting. Adrian, would you call the roll, please?
Paul Vasquez. Here, sir. Ken Freeze.
Here, sir.
Bill Jones.
Here?
Carol Yocum.
Here.
Andrew Sisk. Here. Mel Ortega. Called in earlier. Freeman Fry.
Here.
Adrian Vega. Here. Tina West.
Okay.
Arlene Destry. Dresty. With an R. Tony Montez.
Okay, I believe we have a quorum, so now we'll get started. Arlene, would you give us a treasurer's report?
Sure. Currently, we have $1,514.74 in the account with no outstanding bills.
Okay, thank you. Andrew, would you give us a secretary's report?
Just that the minutes are completed and they're available on file at the library and also on our website, wpccc.info.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Do we have any new business? In that case, we'll go right to our speaker. Tina, would you please introduce us?
I'd like to introduce a very hardworking native son of Arizona who is dedicated to our deserts, land, and wildlife. And it's Dan Millis of Arizona Sierra Club Borderlands Group. And he's going to give us a presentation about nature along the border and how it's doing today.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for that nice introduction, Tina. And thanks to all of you for hosting me. One second, there we go. All right, how's this sound? Is that good enough? Okay, great. Well, as Tina said, I am originally from Arizona. I'm from Flagstaff. I live in Tucson right now, and I work for the Sierra Club. And the Grand Canyon chapter is the Arizona state level Sierra Club. And our group has been working on environmental issues in the state for many years, and we've been focusing, at least here in southern Arizona, on border issues for, well, more than 5 years now. And so I wanted to talk a little bit with the council and with all of you in the audience about some of the environmental impacts of U.S. border policy, and especially how it reflects on the West Desert area in Ajo. So I've got some photos to show. Sierra Club Borderlands is the name of the campaign that I'm working on. And our mission is to protect and restore the U.S.-Mexico borderlands and wildlife for future generations. So, very similar mission to many of the missions that some of the agencies, such as U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Cabeza Prieta folks, and the Park Service at Oregon Pipe. We have a similar vision for the border and protecting the border. There's the name. Yes, here's my contact information if you'd like to email me or give me a call. I've also got business cards here and on our information table. And if any of you do the Facebook, Twitter stuff, this is our Twitter handle. And again, here is our website with a lot of information actually is up on the website. You can check out videos and learn more about some of the issues I'll talk briefly about tonight. So, some of the things that we do at Sierra Club, we do service projects. And I'm going to talk border specific. This is some stuff that we did at the San Pedro to beautify the visitor center there. And this is a desert cleanup where we pick up some of the belongings and things left behind by migrants and border crossers. So we do quite a bit of that. We do learning. Here I am taking photos of some high school students that came with us just last month to the Arizona State Legislature, where we were actually lobbying. So the students learned the basics of volunteer lobbying and reaching out to lawmakers. And of course, we do a lot of networking. You saw in the previous slide a bunch of folks standing around with Ibiza, learning more about border issues and Oregon Pipe Cactus National Monument. This is a different group. These are historians that are down at the site where the Santa Cruz River crosses the border, and listening to the landowner for that area talk about different issues and impacts that he has experienced with walls and barriers and the river and how those interact. So that's kind of what the Sierra Club is about. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of the Sierra Club or maybe be Sierra Club members. So, bringing it to the West Desert. Well, what do most people think of when they think about U.S. border policy, border patrol, and maybe some problems that are involved there, and the Ajo area? Well, unfortunately, they think about this. And you know, people have heard about the housing problems and whether it was over budget or it wasn't over budget, and this is the kind of issue that comes up in the news and that lawmakers talk about and whatnot. That's not the issue that I came here to talk to you all about tonight. We have a lot of other impacts in this area that are really important, and I think it's important for everyone here to be aware of them. You probably already are aware. Now, here is just a photo of some Border Patrol vehicle doing a standard patrol, driving down a road. Obviously, there's a lot of technology in the area. Many of you have seen some of the towers and different mobile units like this. There are helicopters. Once you start talking about helicopters, we're talking about a little bit more of an environmental impact. If they're low-flying helicopters, if there are endangered species around or other things, along the lines of too much noise, that can be problematic. And this is a photo of the forward operating base that was recently built, actually in 2011, it was built on Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, one of our National Park Service units here. And this is really more of the environmental impact that we see in the West Desert. It has to do with all of these vehicles. And this is just, as an example at the forward operating base. Speaking of Border Patrol housing, the forward operating base housing is not nearly as luxurious as those controversial auto houses. So we got to tour the operating base, and it's pretty tight quarters there. Y'all should check it out if you get a chance. But here's the photo of some of the actual on-the-ground impacts that we're seeing. Now, these impacts obviously predate the Border Patrol in many ways. The smugglers that drive across the border, and they still do drive across the border to some extent, were the sort of the original cause of this type of vehicular impact to our fragile desert soils. And now we've seen more of that actually occurring at the hands of Border Patrol than smugglers, and I'll explain that in a second. But the reason this is a problem, this photo, by the way, is from Organ Pipe, is that it changes things. It changes the vegetation. If you run over a lot of bushes and plants and whatnot, or if you, if they're repeatedly killed, then they might not come back. It changes the soil, more importantly, because when the soil